this covering my face the whole time? Y'all, I did not realize that this mic was covering my face pretty much the whole time. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am so sorry, but this take was way too good, and we're already 47 minutes deep. I'm not doing this again. No shade. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Hood Soft Life podcast. I'm your host, Sabrina, and in this podcast, we talk about navigating the challenges that come with growing up in the hood and leaving those challenges behind for a soft life. Growing up in the hood comes with its own set of challenges, but what people don't tend to tell you is not only do those challenges follow you once you've made it out physically, but they tend to intensify. So I'm bringing you along on my journey. I'm going to be honest with you about the struggles and the lessons that I'm learning to achieve a soft life. In this episode, we're going to be talking about unsubscribing from hustle culture. So let's get started. All right, y'all, happy Wednesday. How is everybody doing? I just want to do a quick check-in. I know I talked about this in the last episode, but what did y'all think of that 2 seconds of the TikTok ban? It was ridiculous, but let me know what your thoughts are below. I'm glad it's back though, because one, I edit on CapCut and I needed her back ASAP. And two, I'm just glad that it's back because I'm starting to get a lot of traction on TikTok for the podcast. And I just want to take a quick moment to say, I truly appreciate anybody who has followed us on TikTok and on Instagram, anybody who has subscribed to our YouTube channel, anybody that has become a new listener or has been engaged with the platform in any way, shape, or form. I truly appreciate it. I just love it's not even about seeing the numbers grow. I just love that there are a lot more people that are engaging with the posts and being more vulnerable and open. And that's what I want. I want a community where I'm able to talk to people about real life stuff and they feel comfortable and vulnerable enough to share as well. So I'm just grateful to know that I'm creating a platform where people see my vulnerability and see how comfortable I am with putting myself in front of the camera and talking about these things that people don't typically talk about on the internet, and they feel comfortable enough to share their personal experiences with me and with the other people that are following. I'm just truly grateful, very, very blessed, and I'm super thankful. And if you haven't followed us on TikTok or on Instagram, TikTok is definitely way better, where people are more open than Instagram. I would highly recommend that you do go engage with some other people who are talking in the comments and get to know people. I definitely want to create a community where people feel comfortable and vulnerable enough to share, and there are other people that are responding to help and just say I've been through that before and I've experienced those things before and here's what's helped me, or you'll get through this even if you've never experienced it. I love to see that, and I love to know that I'm helping people in some way, shape, or form, because it's just, it's just little old me, and I get in front of my phone and I put this microphone in front of my face, and sometimes it just feels like I'm just talking to air, which I am, but to know that there's actually people that are listening and want to talk back, I just really appreciate it. So just thank you so much. My week has been pretty good. I went through something that was very, very important for me, and I'll talk a little bit about that probably next week, but I am very, very grateful for the decision that I made. Things are going pretty well at work. I teach 5th and 6th grade science, so I actually switched over and now I teach 5th grade instead. I already taught my 6th graders. Then I came in a little after their school year started, so that was definitely a rough transition. So being able to start with this group of kids from the beginning has definitely been a lot easier than coming in and the kids had already had a teacher and they've had subs and whatever. So things at work are going well, and I'm trying to build a social life. I'm trying to actually make friends out here. I'm very introverted and low-key, antisocial. I can be anti-human at some points in time, and so actually making friends and talking to people and getting to know people it's been something. It's been something. It's not negative. I think it's just I'm actually more so surprised that I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and getting to know people, you know what I mean? But honestly, that's probably a blessing, because I do struggle with trusting people. It's the fact that I'm actually willing to trust people enough to be friends with them or get to know them, hang out with them, leave the comfort of my home for them and getting to know them. It's a big step for me, so I'm proud of myself for that. That's pretty much all I have for... Oh, no, I lied. Also, I decided on a whim, because lately I've been doing things on a whim, to start posting for 30 days on my personal page. And I have a lot of content that is already scheduled, but I have some things that I either still need to edit or I need to film all together. And so I'm a little tired. I'm definitely tired, but I really want to push myself to keep this promise to myself and to just keep promises to myself in 2025. I find that I make these promises to myself and I never keep them long term. And I don't want that to be the case into me going into like my 25th year of life and just moving forward in general. Like I want to be able to keep my promises to myself. So I'm doing 30 days. 30 days, and I started on Monday, so the 27th, and I'm going all the way until the end of February of posting content every day. And I already have it scheduled and planned out, so I'm super excited. But if there's anything that you want to see or hear over on my personal page, definitely feel free to let me know in the comments below, because I would love to hear your thoughts. That's pretty much all I have. But how's your week going? Let us know in the comments below. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump into the meat and potatoes of today's topic, which is hustle culture, and more importantly, unsubscribing from hustle culture. For those of you who don't know what hustle culture is, I have the definition, and let me just say, before we fully dive into our episode for today, I typically write out a script and I never read it word for word. And that's never been the case. I do have some things written down, but a lot of this will just be fresh off the dome. But anyways, Google says hustle culture refers to a mindset that prioritizes excessive work and productivity, often at the expense of personal well-being, where individuals are encouraged to work long hours, sacrifice personal time, and constantly strive for more to achieve success, often glorifying overworking as a badge of honor. Essentially, it's the idea that to succeed, you must constantly hustle and prioritize work above all else, even if it means neglecting your health and personal life. That has definitely been my motto for pretty much my entire life. Even as a child, I felt like I would always have to do all these things in school to just be an overachiever and do the absolute most and work hard, work hard, work hard. And I feel like I adapted that hustle culture mentality for a couple of reasons. And the first thing being is I see a lot of what I don't want to be. I saw a lot of what I didn't want to be around me growing up. And so it's just well, dang, I don't want to be like that, so let me work hard. Let me work really hard so that I never have to be in that position and I never have to be what I don't want to be. I don't want to be what I currently see. I feel like that plays a role into that, but also being a woman of color, and that's a whole different topic for another day, but being a woman of color, you really do have to work hard to get to the places that you want to be in this life and work twice as hard. And sometimes that's not even enough. And again, that is a conversation for another day because that is just so much that we can unpack right there. But I feel like my racial and ethnic identity also plays a role into that. But also, I think the biggest reason why I subscribe to hustle culture is because I feel like I believe the only way to succeed is if I run myself to the ground, if I continue to work hard, if I continue to strive for another goal and reach another milestone. That means that I'm successful. If I have all these degrees and all these accolades and all these titles under my name, then I'm successful. And it took me a while to realize that, one, I was very heavily subscribing to and living in hustle culture, but also understanding that it's not healthy. It is not the healthiest thing for me, and it's actually a terrible thing. The reason I say being embedded in hustle culture is such a bad thing is because it really does do a detriment to your mental health. With hustle culture, you never really feel satisfied with your achievements. It'll feel like you never do enough because you've set the bar this high, but every time you're getting close to achieving your goal, you just continue to raise the bar. And it's just everything you do feels so small to you because you raise the bar all the time. And that is truly how I feel about myself. I feel like everything that I have done up until this point and just really telling my story from beginning to where I'm at right now, it's just I don't even acknowledge that for me to accomplish the things I did, being the first person in my family to graduate from college, being somebody who moved away from Connecticut when a lot of my family doesn't typically do that, pursuing a master's degree, realizing that that's not for me, going after what I truly want and believe, all these things that are personal achievements for me, I kind of just push them away because I'm just it's not a big deal. I don't own a house. I'm not rich. I don't just get to travel the world. I don't have this, that, and a third. And it's just I have all these other goals. And I'm because I'm not there yet, I don't feel like what I've done is enough. And when people would compliment me and would, say that you've done so much and we're super proud, I would kind of just be like, like this feels like normal. This feels like it should just be the standard, but it's not. Like, that's not the standard. In all honesty, like, your life is not just the barest of bare minimum. If you are out here like truly breaking generational patterns and doing things differently and going after what you truly want, what God has placed on your heart, what He has created you to do, you're really doing something that is just powerful, and it's not easy. It's not an easy path to go through at all. And so I just feel like with hustle culture, it's so easy to diminish anything that you do, any successes that you have, because nothing ever feels good enough. You're always trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do next, and working yourself to the ground. The other thing about it is, like, for somebody like myself who is a high achiever and being embedded in hustle culture, it just always felt like I was a failure. Not only would I just kind of diminish my accomplishments and just be like, I was the first person in my family to graduate from college, despite the fact that I went through depression and suicidal ideation and homelessness and a pandemic. Y'all, I was going to school during the pandemic. Can you believe I got robbed of a college experience as a first-generation college graduate? Crazy. But anyways, I'm kind of just like, whatever, it's all right. It's not a big deal, but with hustle culture, it would always make me feel like, okay, but because I don't sell 100 rental properties and make $1 million a year, and I didn't do this by the age of 20, and I didn't do this by the age of 23 or whatever, it's just like, it makes you feel like a failure. It makes you feel like you're doing nothing, that you're just being lazy or wasting your time. And it doesn't allow you to have this mentality of everybody's running their own race. Everybody's going to get to where they're supposed to be in God's timing, and that is the perfect timing. It does not leave any room for that. And so it just makes you feel like what you do is not enough. It makes you feel like you're worthless. It makes you feel like you're lazy. It makes you feel guilty for resting, when in all honesty, like, it's a narrative that we really need to start unsubscribing from, because we'll never be successful, truly successful, if we continue to allow ourselves to be a part of hustle culture and to believe in that. Because success isn't just about what type of property you own, what type of cars you own, what clothes you wear, how much money you have. Honestly, success is being able to live a long, healthy life. You get to travel the world. You get to spend time with your loved ones. You have freedom over anything in your life, your time, your money, where you go, what you do for work. Those are the true luxuries of life. Those are the true successes of life. And hustle culture makes you believe that the physical things, the material things, are the things that make you successful, and that's not true. Because there are plenty of people who make millions and billions of dollars, and they're not happy. They're not successful. They're miserable. They don't have successful relationships. They don't get to travel the world as much as they would like to, because they're always trying to find the next thing to do, the next thing to accomplish. Look at Elon Musk and tell me that he's successful, like really successful, not just money-wise, not having things, but he's not looking too happy to me. I mean, you know what? To each their own. If he's happy, then whatever. But I don't know. It's just, we live in a culture where it's just like our priorities are not straight at all, because we're over here worried about money and clothes and notoriety and all of these things that are supposed to be successful, when really your health, your time, and your freedom to be able to travel and do whatever you want to do with your time, because nobody owns it, that's freedom. The freedom and the ability to pursue the thing that God has placed you on this earth to do, that is freedom, that is success. But we don't think like that. I feel like that's why so many people are struggling with mental health, and people say it's because of social media. And maybe that's true. I don't know. I think social media just gave us a bigger platform for what we were already doing. I feel like hustle culture existed long before social media was ever even a thing, but now we have social media, and instead of telling my message to 10 people that are around me, I can tell my message to 10,000 people from around the world. So it's just like hustle culture has always been around, but now we have phones and computers and cameras and the internet that allows us to continue to perpetuate that message to other people. And we have the ability, we have the choice to decide whether or not we want to subscribe or unsubscribe to that narrative. It is hard. Don't get me wrong, it is hard, because in American society, because that's all I can really speak for, they push that on you. They glorify hard work and staying past the time that your boss leaves and all that extra stuff. I will never, ever be the person to stay past the time my boss is here. Nah. Unless I truly am into what I am doing, I'm not doing that just because like that's what society tells me I want to do or I should do, you know? And so our culture and our society glorifies working hard for less, but working hard and pushing yourself and elevating the bar and this American dream, quote unquote, of this white picket fence and having this money and having this perfect family or whatever the case may be. It's just embedded in our culture, and it's hard to unsubscribe from that narrative because being different from others isn't necessarily celebrated here either. But you do have the ability to say, I'm all set off of that. I truly want a soft life, and not what social media says is a soft life, an actual, genuine, soft life. One thing I've been realizing about myself and just hustle culture and the life that I want to have as I'm starting to get older is that I am 110% capable of achieving every single goal and dream that I have. 110% capable. Even some of my wildest dreams, I can definitely accomplish them. But I don't have the right mentality. I don't have the right systems in place for me to get there, and that is why I don't accomplish my goals. And that's probably why you haven't been able to accomplish some of your goals either. If you are also embedded in hustle culture, there is nothing wrong with that. That is literally shoved down your throat every single day. But that is also going to be the thing that is stopping you from being successful, because let's just take me, for example, somebody who genuinely wants to pursue content creation and being a real content creator and talking about life. If I say I gotta work every single day and night on this podcast, even when I'm tired, even when I'm sick, even when I'm this and that, at some point I'm gonna start producing poor quality work because I just keep working and working and working. And I think that that's what's good, right? Is that I post a video every week, I post an episode every week, but if there's 4 weeks out the month and 2 of them or 3 of them are trashed because I just keep pushing and pushing and pushing when I should have just took a break, well, what's the point? I'm doing more harm than good for my goals. I'm doing more harm than good for my business. I'm doing more harm than good for my health, and it's not worth it. And so that's what I've been learning. Is just like I have the wrong mentality, and that's the thing that's been holding me back. I have this mentality that I'm not deserving of rest. I have this mentality that I need to work all the time, and even if I'm tired, and even if I don't want to, and and sometimes you gotta work just even if you don't want to. But a lot of the time, you have the ability to take a break, but you have that voice in your ear that keeps telling you, nah, you don't need to take that break. You're not deserving of that break. You are deserving of that break. You need to put these systems in place to be able to get yourself to where you want to be, to be able to get yourself out of hustle culture and truly into a soft life. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be lazy. That doesn't mean that your goals are going to take a back seat now. All it means is just that you have to shift things around, because what good does it do you if you are working yourself to the bone, and then by the time your business blows up or you get your degree or whatever the case may be is, now all of a sudden you have a chronic illness because you didn't take care of yourself. Is that going to be worth it? One thing I talked about is just like feeling guilty about taking any rest time for myself. And that is something that I struggle with deeply. Anytime I lay down when I have free time, like I always am thinking about I could be doing this or I could be doing that, or I get a bunch of these content ideas the second I sit down and try to take some time away from my computer, and I'm annoyed and I'm frustrated because it's like I'm tired and I just want to turn my brain off for like 2 seconds and just lay here without having to think about all these ideas and without having to feel rushed to write them down so that I don't forget them. Like I get ideas like in the middle of the night, or right when I'm about to go to sleep, or if I get up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, I get an idea and I'm like, I don't want to touch my phone because I don't want to be on my phone writing all these ideas down, and now I can't go back to sleep. So sometimes, honestly, I'll be like, man, bump it. If I don't remember it in the morning, it wasn't worth it because I don't have the time. Or sometimes what I used to do is I would take a piece of paper and a pen and I would leave it by my bed. And it's just like, if that idea is really, really good, really worth it, I'm gonna write it down. But I'm not getting my phone to write it down right now. I don't have time for that. But I struggle with allowing myself to just relax, to take a break, to take care of myself. And It is hard. It is hard when you're so embedded in hustle culture. It is hard when it feels like you always have to keep going to get to where you want to be. And I think what we need to start normalizing is like for you to be truly successful, it involves taking breaks. If you drive your car for 30 days on end and you don't stop driving, you're telling me that that car is still going to be the best that it can be. You're telling me you're not going to have any issues with that car. You're telling me you're not going to have to take it for maintenance, maybe some new tires depending on what you did. Like, no, everything needs a break. Your car needs a break. Your phone needs a break. Your computer, your eyes, you need a break. You need to take the break. And honestly, I don't have any advice on how you can do that, because genuinely speaking, like, that is something that I struggle with. I'm still trying to learn how to quiet the voices that tell me, like, get up, you don't have time to take a break, we need to keep going and going and going and going and going. And so I'm still working on that. But if I do find some ideas or some ways for me to quiet that noise, I will definitely do a follow-up episode about rest and resting and let you know, like, what systems have I put into place that have allowed me to be able to take rest guilt-free, because I think a lot of people need that. I feel like a lot of people want that, and I think a lot of people struggle with taking rest without feeling guilty. And some people might not even notice. Some people probably just think like, oh, I get my best ideas when I sit down and it's quiet. Cool. And it's also your brain telling you that it's not time to rest. It's time to continue to work. And then when are you going to be able to rest? Let's talk about unsubscribing from hustle culture. What does that look like? Let me tell you what that does not look like and what that does not mean. That does not mean that your goals and your dreams and your aspirations and all the things that you are working for take a back seat or they go on the back burner. That does not mean it's time to just be lazy. That's not what that means at all. What it means is that it's time for us to create a new mindset and to be able to move ourselves out of, we have to work all the time. I'm going to go ahead and go to the gym another time. I'm going to go ahead and read my Bible another time because I want to get this done. That's something I'm struggling with. I'm not even going to hold you. I definitely felt convicted to let you know I'm struggling with that. But just understanding that our work and working ourselves to the bone, one, that shouldn't be a thing, but also our work doesn't have to be at the forefront. And I think that a lot of people are struggling with this identity crisis of, well, if I'm not the most productive version of myself, then I'm not a good version of myself. If I'm not working all the time, if I'm not pursuing the next thing, if I'm not on the move, if I'm not getting no motion, or if my motion is slow, whatever the case may be, however you want to phrase it. I feel like we have this mentality of just like, if we're not working all the time, that makes us lazy, that makes us unworthy, that makes us a bum, that makes us whatever. And it's just like, that is not true. Just because you decided to take a break from your business, from your degree, for whatever, that doesn't automatically make you a bum. That doesn't automatically make you lazy. That doesn't automatically make you unworthy of the things that you want to achieve. That actually makes you the best version of yourself. When you say, I'm about to tap out, or I've already tapped out, and I need some time to regroup. I think I did an episode about this in season 1, but I talked about burnout, and I talked about how I really struggled with burnout in college. I'm going to try and list off all the things that I did in college right now off the top of my head. Let's do my last semester. Okay, I was a full-time college student. I was taking 19 credits, actually, because I was trying to graduate a semester early. I had to do my field work. So I was out here doing a project for my school. What else? I was the student trustee, so I sat on the board of trustees and I went to all these meetings. I was the founder and president of a club. I was a part of the initiatives to increase DEI work on my campus, so I had a bunch of meetings that came with that. I still involved myself in clubs and extracurricular activities. I worked at least 3 jobs, at least. Some semesters, like, I would be out here working 4 or 5 jobs. I was getting to this money, honey. Let me tell you something about it. I was never broke in college. But that's like all the things I could think of at the top of my head. Mind you, I had a double major, double minor, and I had a concentration. Jesus Christ. So, all of that to say, I was very familiar with burnout. But I never took the time to say, I need to take a step back. I need to relax. Honestly, when I felt burnt out, I was just ready to say, like, I want to drop out. I never considered taking a semester off or taking a break because I was struggling with my mental health. We were locked down for COVID. I had a double major, double minor, and a concentration, and I was doing a bunch of stuff on campus. I was extremely active. And so I never took the time to just say, like, I need a break. I can't go to this meeting. I can't go to this. I can't go to this, that. I don't know how to delegate. None of that stuff. When I got burnt out, it was a struggle for me, and I never, ever, ever, ever want to feel that again. But honestly, if you are somebody who is even courageous enough to even say for a second or even think about, I need to take a break, I need to take a step back from this thing, despite the fact that I am truly passionate about it, despite the fact that I am in love with this thing, that I want to do this thing, this is the thing that God has placed me on this planet for, I'm going to take a break. Kudos to you. Round of applause for you, genuinely, because there are a lot of people, including myself, who could not before, or will not do that. And so we get in this mindset of like, oh, if I take a break, I'm a bum, I'm lazy, whatever. No, like you're smart, for lack of any better word. Like, you're smart, you're doing the right thing, because you can't work yourself to the point of exhaustion or to the point where you have to go to the hospital. Because I had worked myself to that point where I had to go to the emergency room a couple of times. You can't work yourself to that point, because you never know what's going to happen to your body. You'll never know what that doctor is going to tell you if you work yourself to that point. And you just don't know how long you're going to be on this planet for. And you don't know if you're shaving time off of your life. That was something that I was genuinely afraid of, because not only was I struggling with anxiety, but I'm over here like literally killing myself with the amount of work that I'm doing. And I'm just like, I would say to my therapist, I feel like I am shaving time off of my life, and I'm too young for that. And I am about to turn 25, and I've been saying that for like at least 2 years. So to be 22, 23-ish and saying that I feel like I'm shaving years off of my life, like, that is wild. Don't be that person. Do not shave years off of your life for nothing, for no job, for no passion, for none of that stuff. Because what good is it going to do you to work this hard and to not even be able to see the fruits of all the work you put in? If you want to have a family, what good does it do you to work this hard and you never get to spend time with your family? And God forbid you pass away early. You can't get any of that time back. With all of that being said, one thing that I'm learning about myself and just like what my life could look like in the future is that I'm not going to wake up one day and just have my dream life. That I already knew. But what I mean by that is, like, if I say I want to have a soft life and I want to be married and I want to have children and I want to be a business owner and work for myself, I have to put those things into place today. And I understand that when it comes to my career, 110%. I know that if I want to be a full-time podcaster, if I want to be a full-time content creator, I know that I need to be making content and it's going to take time. That I understand. But I feel like what I didn't understand, or what took me a long time to understand, is like, I say I want a soft life and I know exactly what that looks like for me. And I say that I want freedom and all this extra stuff. But I'm just expecting God to just give that to me one day, instead of realizing that I need to put systems in place to be able to get blessed with that life. God will bless me with that life if I know how to start handling that now, if I start making these mindset changes now, if I start making these changes in my systems and how I go about operating in my day-to-day life. He will bless me with that soft life in the future for sure. But he's not going to bless me with a soft life if I'm still embedded in hustle culture, if I don't know how to prioritize my time with him, if I don't know how to prioritize taking care of myself, if I don't know how to prioritize rest and relaxation without guilt. Why would he give me a soft life? I'm not going to be able to handle it. I'm going to fumble the bag greatly and ruin that for me. No. And so I feel like he's definitely been placing that on my heart of just saying, like, you want this life and it is definitely there for you. I could give it to you. But you have to do the work right here, right now to get that life. I can't just give it to you because you won't know how to take care of it. Like, people use that mentality or that ideology when it comes to money of like, God won't give you more money because you don't know how to store your money right now, which is a word for me too. But you need to think about that when it comes to like just the quality of life that you want to have outside of materialistic things. If you want to have a soft life and a soft relationship, you can't just expect that to pop up one day. You have to start putting in the work to be able to have that one day. And so I'm starting to realize, like, in order for me to get there, I need to start embedding and creating practices that will allow me to have a soft life now, even while I am working to get to the life that I want to have, while I'm working a full-time job, and then I come home and I work extra hours on my own business on the side. Right now, I am not comfortable with taking a rest or with taking a break and prioritizing myself and my health. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not familiar with that. I want that life where it's just like I live in a state of ease and I live in a state of comfort and softness. I want that life for myself, but I need to start getting comfortable with that. I need to start getting familiar with what that looks like so that when that time comes and my life looks like that every day, all day, I know how to handle that. So here is how we're going to unsubscribe from hustle culture. First things first, putting systems in place. We need to start figuring out how much time are we going to allow ourselves to pursue our passions. You know that you go to work from 9 to 5 or whatever your schedule looks like. After that, you know that you're done and you're clocking out. Same thing needs to be the case with your passions. Like, I'm working from 5 to 11 p.m. a lot of nights. First of all, that's a little too long because I have to be up in the morning at like 5:45. So instead of me working from 5 to 11, I work from 5 to 9, and that's it. And at 9 o'clock, it's a cutoff, whether I'm in the middle of an episode of editing it or not. Like, it'll wait. I need to also put systems in place for scheduling rest and relaxation and fun. If I want to have a soft life, I need to start prioritizing that too. Every Sunday, I'm going to take myself out for a coffee date. I actually hate coffee, but you know what I mean? I'll take myself out for a lunch date, or I'll take myself out to explore DC, or I'm going to do everything shower and paint my nails, or whatever the case may be. You know, like, scheduling those things, and you have to schedule them in. And I know people are like, oh, you schedule your fun time. Yes I do, because that's what's gonna make me the most productive and keep me the most healthy and sane. Because if I don't schedule it, forget it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even going to think about it because I'm not worried about that, because I'm too embedded in hustle culture and I need to stop being embedded in hustle culture. So I'm going to schedule it and I'm going to prioritize it and I'm going to follow through. Say it with me now. We're going to what? Follow through, because we keep saying that we're going to do these things and we're here for the soft life and blah, 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 blah. And then we don't follow through. And I'm not just coming for your eyebrows, edges, and eyelashes. I'm coming for my own, because I'll say, oh, I'm going to take care of myself on Sundays and I'm going to clean my apartment and blah, 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 blah. And then I do not do it. And then my closet looks a freaking mess. I have dishes piled up in the sink. I didn't wash my hair this week, whatever. I didn't do all those things because I was too busy doing what? Working. Too busy doing work, and not the work that I get paid for on my traditional 9 to 5 days a week. No, working on my own passions and things. And I'm not trying to demonize that or, critique that. I love that I'm putting in all this work onto my content and that I'm leaning into it. I feel like this is the time where I'm really, truly passionate about leaning into it, but I'm going about it all wrong, and I'm not going to be successful the way I deem success if I keep going down this route. So what do I need to do? Put systems in place to be able to unsubscribe from hustle culture. The next thing I need to do is change my mindset. I need to stop telling myself that I'm lazy and that I'm a bum and that I'm not going to be worth my dreams and goals and aspirations because I decided to look at the back of my eyelids for 20 minutes. It's cool for me to take a nap and just take a break and stop looking at my screen. Honestly, my eyes will thank me for it, because all I do is stare at screens all day at work. And then I stare at screens all day at home when I come home. And then I want to watch a little bit of what? TV. And that's another screen. And I need a break. I need a break. And I need to be able to tell myself it is okay to take a break. It is okay to relax. It is okay to turn this off for now. It is okay to not post this Wednesday and instead post on Sunday because we need a break. That's fine. The world is not going to end. We rationalize in our heads that, like, the world is going to end if we don't do what we're supposed to do every single week, every single time, despite the fact that we need a break. The world's not going to end. I promise. I promise you it is not going to end. And if you don't believe me, talk to the king, because that's all I can really tell you. That's all I can really tell you. But I promise you, the world is not going to end because you took a break. God himself says that you need to take a break. I don't have the scripture for you off the top of my head, but if I find it, I'll leave it somewhere like in the description. But take a break. We need to change our mindset and stop telling ourselves that taking a break is a bad thing. The third thing is be mindful of what you consume. And yes, I mean like who you follow on social media and all that extra stuff. But for me, what I mean like specifically is even what I'm watching or listening to. I like listening to podcasts and I like watching YouTube more than anything else. I don't really watch like TV like that. And I watch a lot of how to grow your content, how to edit, how to do this. I watch a lot of things that involve like content creation and just creativity in general. One, because I genuinely enjoy it and I like that kind of stuff, but also because it is helping me in my business and in my endeavors and what I want to do with my life. And while that is great, I know that I want this to be my full-time job. I know that I want to get in front of this camera and this microphone every week, once a week, and do this and make money off of it. I know that I want to make videos about my day-to-day life and helping other people and whatever the case may be. I know that I want to do that full-time. And so now me watching these videos about editing and storytelling and how to do whatever, now that's not for fun anymore. That's not for funsies. Now that's work, because I know that this is a thing that I want to do for the rest of my life until I decide that I don't want to do it anymore and I'm good enough for, and I'm going to retire. This is the thing that I want to do for a career. And now that time that I spend on YouTube, that time that I spent listening to those podcasts, that's not just for funsies anymore, because I'm listening to learn. I'm listening to implement. I'm working in a different way. And I felt like I tried to rationalize it by saying like, well, I'm not doing anything with my podcast. I didn't open up my computer to edit or anything like that. Like, I'm just writing it down. I'm taking the notes for later, but I'm studying the videos. I'm learning what they're telling me to do. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to implement it into my podcast. That is work. And so I need to be mindful of what I'm consuming and just find things that I can consume just because I enjoy them. So if you have any Netflix shows that you feel are really good, leave them in the comments below. Okay, I like true crime. I like some reality TV. Not too much stuff like that. Leave any recommendations. I love me a cartoon. I like an adult cartoon. I just think that they're funny. But give me something that's funny. Give me something that's lighthearted. Something that's not too deep and not too serious. So maybe no true crime, because I need a break. But leave those in the comments below, because I'm trying to find new things to consume that will allow me to stop thinking about work and start just enjoying life. I watch the show because I like it, not because it pours into my business, All right. Here are 5 ways I plan to practice having a soft life and eliminating hustle culture from my mentality. And I want you to try these things too if you're able to. And so the first thing is I want to prioritize my health. I love going to the gym, but a lot of the times I'll push my gym days or my gym time back and back and back because I'm editing a video, or because I had a long day at work with the kids and I'm tired and I don't want to go to the gym and I want to work on this instead, or I want to whatever. Or I end up spending more time at work because I want to decorate my classroom, or whatever the case is. And I want to start prioritizing my health. Health is wealth. Health is going to be the thing that keeps me here for the longest time possible. I want to put going to the gym at the forefront. I feel like such a different person when I'm in the gym. I feel more confident. I feel more healthy. I feel more happy. I feel like comfortable when I eat. I want to start prioritizing my health, and it's not just about like how I look, but it's really more so like how I feel. I feel like a different person when I do prioritize my health and what I'm eating, versus like, oh, I'm busy, so let me just throw this in the air fryer and we'll call it a night. We're not going to the gym. We're not going to go for a walk, Next thing, prioritizing fun. I've said this a couple of times now. I am a serial no fun haver. I don't have fun. I work my 5 days a week. I come home on the weekends. I lay down and I either work on my content or I chill at home by myself. And sometimes that is fun for me. But I want to go out more and I want to meet friends. And even if they're content creator friends and I'm networking with them or whatever, I mean, that's still low-key work. But just being around like-minded people and finding fun things to do and having a good time, like getting a hobby. I don't have any hobbies, but getting a hobby and doing something that without like this mentality of like there's a reward at the end of this. I feel like even with going to the gym, I like that, but it's just like I know I want to achieve some body recomposition goals, so there's a goal in mind, there's a reward in mind, where it's just like if I did something just because I genuinely like it, like I used to play the piano when I was younger, self-taught, but I stopped playing and because I started prioritizing other things like work. And so I've been thinking about getting into that a lot. I just don't have anywhere to put like a keyboard right now, but that was something I did just because I genuinely and truly love music. I genuinely and truly love teaching myself, and it made me feel happy and it made me feel passionate. And there was no like reward for playing. It just, I enjoyed it. If anything, the reward was that I felt at peace while I was playing. I loved the sound of the music and knowing that I was able to recreate somebody's music on my own and just hear it. I don't know. I just loved it. There's no words that I can really put into place. Like, I definitely want to get that back into my routine within like the next year or so, or I don't know. If I find out where I can put it in here, because I live in a studio, then I'll do that. And if not, like, it'll definitely be a priority once I move out of this place for sure. Is this covering my face the whole time? Y'all, I did not realize that this mic was covering my face pretty much the whole time. If you're watching this on YouTube, I am so sorry, but this take was way too good, and we're already 47 minutes deep. I'm not doing this again. No shade. So I am so sorry to you, but I did put it down, so hopefully that's helpful. Okay. Third thing that I want to start doing to help me unsubscribe from hustle culture is taking care of myself, understanding when I need a break, understanding when it's time for me to just relax, when it's time for me to talk to a friend or whatever the case may be, and just putting myself first. I don't think that I put other people first. I definitely don't do that either because I know that I'm supposed to put myself first, but I feel like even though I don't put other people above me, I put my goals above me. I put my dreams above me. I put my aspirations and what my future is supposed to look like. I put that above me, and that's the thing that's unhealthy. And so I want to start putting my mental health first. I want to start putting relaxation and all those things above my goals, because there's always going to be a goal. There's always going to be something that I want to achieve, but it can wait. Like, I want to be able to enjoy my life fully and not feel like I'm running a rat race, even with just me. Next thing is spending less time on social media or unfollowing the pages that don't serve me. As somebody who's an aspiring content creator, I spend a lot of time on social media because I'm trying to figure out like what new skills can I learn. I'm trying to do a lot of research. Like, I spend a lot of time doing SEO, or I spend a lot of time scheduling things for the week or posting for the week, and then I find myself engaging with people on the platforms, which is not a problem. I don't mind that. But once I'm done engaging with people and I finish answering comments, now I'm still on here talking to people in other comments about other videos that I'm watching, and now I'm just mindlessly scrolling, and I just want to spend less time doing that and focus that time into something else. I think the other thing too is just like when I spend so much time scrolling and looking for inspiration and looking for what things I might want to talk about next, I stunt my own creativity, because now I feel like I have to put on this pressure of like, okay, I need to sound like them, or I need my content to look like theirs, or what does their page look like? And I don't need to do that. I'm my own person. My page looks the way it does because it's a reflection of me and my ideas, and I don't need to be looking at other people. And that's where I start getting into the comparison part of hustle culture, where it's just like, yes, you work really hard and it has a lot to do with you and inward, but also like you see a lot of what other people are doing, and so then it makes you feel like you have to work even harder because you're too far behind. And I don't want to be telling myself that that's the case, or I don't want to be spending all this time looking at other people's profiles and figuring out like, well, how did they grow, or should I start doing this like how they do, or that like how they do. I don't have to do that. Like, the HSL podcast and my lifestyle content is its own thing because I'm my own person. And the last thing is spending more time with God. I definitely have started to take my religion a bit more seriously, and I do think about spending my time with God, but I always put my work above that too, and it definitely makes me feel guilty, and I do feel convicted when I do that. So I just want to figure out like putting a good system in place where I'm able to fit in the things that I need to fit in without getting tired. And so I'm able to fit in spending time with God and taking care of myself and going to the gym, which I guess goes into the taking care of yourself aspect, but just making sure that I'm doing all that while I still work a 9-to-5 and I am pursuing my goals. And it's going to be a bit of a challenge because it's unfamiliar for me, one, and two, because I need to be able to do it without bullying myself into hustle culture and making myself feel like I'm not ish if I don't work all the time. All right, so I have 2 shadow work prompts for hustle culture, and I have 2 for soft life. And if I have the time, maybe I'll answer one of them. So here are my 2 shadow work prompts for hustle culture. The first one says, what beliefs have I internalized about my worth being tied to how much I achieve or produce? How do these beliefs impact my self-esteem or relationships? Number 2, when I feel the urge to overwork or constantly stay busy, what emotions or fears am I avoiding? And how can I create a space to process them. That's the other thing too. Like, some people are overworking because they don't want to address some things. I'm guilty of that too. Okay, and then here are the 2 shadow work prompts that I have for living a soft life. Number 1 says, what fears or guilt arise when I choose rest, ease, or joy over my productivity? Where do these feelings come from? Number 2 says, do I truly believe I deserve a life of ease and softness? If not, what limiting beliefs are blocking me from fully embracing this lifestyle? And I'm just going to quickly answer number 2. I definitely don't believe that I'm worthy of a life of softness and ease. Not because I'm not working hard enough to achieve it. I guess because I wouldn't say that I don't think I'm deserving, actually. Let me take that back. It's not that I don't think I'm not deserving. I feel like it's not possible. Not because I'm not deserving enough, but more so just because I don't see anybody around me living this life. Like, with the people that I grew up with, I don't see them living this life. My friends right now, we're all on the grind trying to get to where we want to be. So they're not living this life. I don't really have a lot of people within my proximity who are living this life. So the fact that this is a possibility is kind of just like foreign. And I feel like that's the case for me. I feel like I'm not familiar with this ideology of like, I could really be living like this because I don't really see it. And I feel like if I started to see this more around me, or if I started to make the shift and being the example and showing other people around me that they can live a soft life, then maybe I'll start to feel like this is the case, like it's possible. But right now, I just feel like it's not possible because I don't see it. And I feel like a lot of people don't believe what they don't see. All right, y'all, we are at the point where we've reached the affirmation for this week. And the affirmation for this week is, rest and ease are not luxuries. They are essential to my well-being and success. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that 3 times. If you have the ability to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to write this down, however you want to speak this positivity onto your life, find a way to do it. So, rest and ease are not luxuries. They are essential to my well-being and success. Rest and ease are not luxuries. They are essential to my well-being and success. Rest and ease are not luxuries. They are essential to my well-being and success. All right, y'all, that is all I have for you this week. This episode seems to be a little bit longer compared to the other ones that I've made this year so far. So let me know in the comments below, what's your thoughts about hustle culture? Do you feel like it's been beneficial for you? Do you feel like it's been detrimental for you? Are you unsubscribing from hustle culture? If so, definitely let us know. Give us some tips on how you're unsubscribing from hustle culture. And I just want to hear what your thoughts are. How did you like this episode? Do you prefer a longer episode? Do you prefer a shorter episode? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also comment on Spotify. If you are watching clips of this on TikTok or Instagram, definitely let us know in the comments below. If you came from an audio platform or YouTube and then started following us on TikTok, let me know. If you see me on TikTok and you made your way over to the full episode, let me know. I would definitely love to hear how you found us. So let me know in the comments below. I also want to remind you that I am posting 30 days of content on my lifestyle page, aka my personal page, at Sabrina, SABRINAA .LIZET, Sabrina Lissette. So if you want to see 30 days of content outside of the Hood Soft Life podcast, more so about my life, faith, fitness, things like that, go ahead and follow me there on Instagram and TikTok. But until then, I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Bye.